live. I'm on Uriah right now because
Okay.
Chicago on there is down. So
Yeah, I'm up.
Bob, good shot, check.
I'm up.
Okay.
I'll get the notifications.
Are you live? Okay. Arala, you're not going live? Okay. So
I'm gonna share.
God,
We should
you
be
got
good.
the notification.
we
So.
should be good.
All right, we good? Yep, yes we are. It's Shalom, Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever, to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the very few Akwaf that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. And we just gonna jump right into this thing. And how this truth is just becoming more and more prominent, which is why Esau is taking more measures to try to distract from the truth, trying to distract from the chariots, you know, and the truth about the chariots. And more movies are coming out. I was watching, I turned on and clicked on the Nick Fury thing, and it's about a whole alien invasion, you know, aliens that look like humans and you know that. Yeah, they're trying to get a control of the narrative, and they can't, because the truth of the matter is that they've lost control of the narrative. A lot of so-called white people, the Edomites, know that they're the Edomites, and a lot of the other nations also know who they are, and even those that don't, they know that the so-called white man is in fact Esau, Edom. And give me that they won't be able to hide themselves, Baba Kasha. And also in Obadiah 1 and 6, how the things that Esau searched out. First and foremost, the Bible. All right. That's why I think it was Theodore Roosevelt that said that the best education that you can get is the thorough knowledge of the Bible. That's better than any college education that you can get. That you can spend all kind of ridiculous amounts of money to learn absolutely nothing, to get a degree of knowledge. When the Bible is a complete 360 degrees of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Of knowledge, that's right.
Fullness, exactly. But whoever got it, bring it out.
This is the Obadiah. You want that one first?
It doesn't matter which one comes
It's
out.
Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?
Yeah. And like we said, number one is the Bible, man. And the truth about who we are and the truth about who they are. You know, it's coming out, man. I mean, and you got more and more people that look like Esau, all right, that are actually agreeing with us and saying what we're saying.
If I may, while they give me the other one, this is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Therefore, let us lie and wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education. Esau knows that he's transgressing on the education that he's putting out there. He knows he's pushing lies. Now his lies are catching up with him on the heathens. The lies are catching up with them amongst Esau himself. That's why they're complaining of an ungodly father. And now Jake, the righteous of Jake, for the most part, is waking the fuck up. And Esau is being made bare.
And the curses are falling on his ass too.
Bring it up.
Breaking
Translation,
news. The actor Julian Sands went missing. And they just found some human remains in the area where he went missing.
Whoa.
Julian Sands. You know him when you see him.
Oh yeah.
He played a lot of those warlocks and witches and shit. You know?
He must have came against the body.
But nevertheless, you know, the curses are falling upon them. You got a Russian just got ate by a shark. Unfortunately, they killed the shark for doing
his job.
for you know, because this intruder came into his home.
Right.
All right, and he, you know, he didn't know. He probably thought that Edomite was gonna try to sleep with one of his little shark babies. I don't know. He wanted to defend his house. But no, but real talk though, how you gonna kill a shark? How you gonna jump in the ocean where great whites and bull sharks and tiger sharks and sharks that actually eat people or can eat people swim and roam, and you gonna jump into their habitat, and then when one of them attack you, you know. So
just like the safari.
So I hope that it is Julian Sands' remains. But it's just going to show you, right? So you know him when you see him. That
Oh yeah.
that his remains were found So remains were found, in a trail. He went disappearing, and there was some remains found, in the area where he went missing. So it may be him. So and if it is, then he actually got lucky because things are gonna get really, really bad. All right, they gotta get really bad. But Benji, you got something, brother?
The Jeremiah 49.
I'll shot. And then bring out that video if you would.
Con, I posted them both in infos room already, right?
Con.
It's Jeremiah 49 and verse
10,
yeah,
maybe 8. Start at 8.
Yeah. I'm gonna start at 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman, is counsel perished from the prudent, is their wisdom vanished. And we see everything that Esau does is she shooting himself in the foot. Every executive decision.
Both feet.
Yeah. He's causing division. At one point, the American pride at one point was, they was with America going to police the world. Now they're pissed about it. The Patriots ain't with that no more. Like, you wasting our fucking American dollars doing this shit. They talking about that $6.2 billion, that account error. They pissed, man. There's a lot of pissed off Americans about all this shit, man, with Ukraine and all this, right?
Yeah.
So that's division right there.
Because they follow the narrative of Esau, and now they seen them being exposed.
Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, if I would bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I would visit him, which what Elder Malcolm said. Sands in this lifetime got lucky. All right? Not so much. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some laden grapes? If these by night they will destroy, if they have enough. But I have made Esau bare, so the Lord is going to completely spoil you, Esau. All right? A grape gatherer will leave some grapes on the vine. You're not going to be left. None of Esau will be left. All right? You're going to be brought down completely low. The ones of you that escaped the missiles, you're going to be put in slavery. Every last Edomite will be touched.
That's right.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Every single one of you, ain't not one will be missed.
Yeah, we're gonna Marion.
He gonna be sifted too.
Touch. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself.
That's right.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So you're being revealed.
That's right.
All right, it says in 2 Thessalonians, before that coming, you'll be destroyed by the words of the mouth. Well, that mouth is speaking. That's the prophets. And Isaiah 44 tells us what? The Lord, he performeth the words of his prophets. So the things the prophets speak, which are things written, are surely going to happen.
That's right.
And are happening now, man.
That's right.
And you're being revealed to be the devil that you are.
That's right.
And the whole world is fucking sinning. Even other Edomites are sinning.
That's right.
Especially your women.
I've got this one. This is Job 34:21. For his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his going.
That's right. That's like the scripture says, his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And Numbers, I believe, say, make sure you know your sins will find you out.
Right. Hey, what did Psalm say? I believe it's King David that wrote this one. But he say, have he that made the eye, shall he not see? He that made the ear, shall he not hear?
That's right.
We thought you was doing all this shit in secrecy, but hey, damn, the brother brought a raw-ass quote yesterday on the line, the brother Matazar.
Yeah.
It was TJ, Thomas Jefferson.
Yep.
He said, I fear, oh yeah, you was this.
I tremble.
I tremble. Yeah, I tremble when I think that the Lord is just. So you understand that they're going to get punished for shit they've been doing.
Just like the
devils
comedian.
believe in, hey, it says it in the scriptures. The
Yeah.
devils believe in tremble.
That's right.
That's why you got these Edomite whistleblowers, all right? They know that judgment's coming.
Yeah, you got this Sicilian girl who's been bringing out the history about white people not being white.
That's right.
And she's regurgitated a lot of stuff that we brought out, but she's bringing it out. All right, and she also brought up the letter that Ben Franklin wrote, and she even said in her video, I did a response to it. I had to, but she even said in her video that it's clear that when he said red, that he wasn't talking about the natives, but he was talking about the red-faced white people.
That's right.
Because he had already referred to the natives as Tawny and Dusky and Tawny and Swarthy.
Yeah.
He had already bunched them in that.
Yep.
All right. So the evidence and the truth is just it's coming out like a flood, man. Literally a flood.
Matter of fact,
Okay.
Right.
if I may real quick, I'll quote it. Just this quote, Psalms As I said, the truth shall spring.
64 and 8. Oh,
Truth-
no, 85 and 11.
Truth shall spring forth out of the earth. You know, the truth is springing forth and flooding out in such a from artifacts to writings to history to scriptures to spirit and every single
Speaking
way.
of that, I was watching a video with one of the brothers over in London, not the main London camp, but the other London camp where that brother goes out by himself sometime. The older brother with with the slight gray in the beard, and you had a Romanian, yeah, and that brother came out. I mean, you had a Romanian guy came up to him, clearly had to be Jake, and had a whole phone full of black icons, saying that these are the real images, and and this was a Romanian dude who looked white, and right before this so-called white guy who had the spirit of Jacob.
Come on, man.
He didn't buck up at none of the scriptures the brother brought out either, and he had the black icons in his phone.
Wow.
Right, a white guy.
I seen it, but not seen it.
And then there was a Jake that came before him who couldn't get it.
That's the
Cool.
special.
You know?
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, let me finish this. This is Joel 24, picking up at 22. There is no darkness or shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves.
Ooh, there it is, man.
Right?
Nice. And then how many white guys are gonna walk around with dark images of the Lord and the saints and,
Come on, man.
King David and all that?
Nah.
They're not gonna do it.
Absolutely.
They're gonna deny the so-called white man is going to deny. The fact that he still called you an African American is the most hateful, racist thing. That he called you a Hispanic, that he called you a Haitian or whatever. Why? Because he's trying to hide who you are and also trying to hide who he is.
That's right.
And now he's been made bare. There's no more hiding.
I got a few quick ones for you. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the earth. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath,
Yes,
because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Why? Because 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 28 says, "As for faith, it shall flourish."
Read 27 first.
Yes, sir. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 27. It says, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish.
Right.
Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And why was it without fruit? Because the wicked, was deceiving the whole earth, lying. But now they're being exposed. And what happens right after they're exposed and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, be declared?
Humiliation.
Well, right here in Matthew chapter 24, verse 14, it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom, which is the truth, shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." All right, the end of the wicked's rule is coming now that the truth is out and the exposing of the lies of Esau Edom, who is the wicked.
That's
The
right.
real truth.
And a big part of that truth coming out is Esau being exposed.
Exactly.
That's a huge part of this.
Yep.
All right.
I got a couple.
Go ahead. Then we're gonna play that first video.
So this, I tried. Thank you. This 2 Thessalonians 2.
Over humble that.
Yeah, brother. You only got to manage to reject once. That's it. This 2 Thessalonians 2. I'm gonna bounce around though. 2 and 3. That no man deceive you by any means, but that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. So we had to fall away, like the Bishop Yaki read. All right, the truth which have been so long without fruit. All right, that's that Jeremiah 17:4. And what is it? Hosea, I believe the 3rd chapter or 4th chapter. Israel shall dwell many days without a king, without the ephod. We lost who we were completely.
Right.
All right, we became a valley of dry bones. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
That's right.
So the falling away has happened, and now with the waking up is that man of sin being revealed. So I'm gonna jump down, which that man of sin is Esau Edom.
Right. If I may, real quick, it says in that Psalms 82, The job of the prophets is to rid our people from the hand of the wicked and all their deceit. You see? That's
That's
it.
the spirit. I'm jumping down to verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. What's the Lord's mouth? The prophets. Daniel 9 and 10, Hosea 12 and 10. All right, and the book of Jeremiah said, this people shall be wood, and his word in your mouth shall be as fire. So this is the first step of it. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So first we speak it, like Yaki read, and in Matthew, this gospel shall be preached, and then shall the end come. Even him who's coming up the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. So Satan has a physical counterpart on earth. When you read Revelation 12, it's clearly talking about the Roman army, and they're referred to as what? The old serpent, the devil. And right here it calls them the wicked. Well, Malachi 1 and 4 lets you know that Esau, Edom is that wicked.
Yep.
So a part of us waking up to this truth, all right, is waking up to the truth and exposing this devil.
That's right.
That's Psalms 50 and 16. Yeah, I'm gonna jump down. But unto the wicked, God says, "What hast thou to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instructions,
Right.
and cast my words behind thee." So Esau Edom is the devil. All right, he don't want to hear the word of the Lord. He's a deaf adder that stoppeth his ear.
Right.
All right, now jumping down to verse 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. He was our twin brother. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Though thou thoughtest I was altogether such as one like as thyself.
See, because the Most High allowed them to get their wickedness off.
Yep.
Because they have a bounds that they cannot pass. But since they wouldn't get punished for all the wickedness that they were, putting out in the earth, they was like, oh man, the Lord, hey,
He with me.
He with us. Or
Manifest
thinking that
destiny.
they God,
Yeah, the Lord allowed their hubris to increase. It said their pride deceived thee.
Right.
They really got their heads, they God, they figured it out.
Yep.
They really thought they figured the loophole out.
Right.
Let's keep making them sin. The Lord won't come back. Well, you forgot about the sacrifice that Yahushua made.
Right.
It was already understood.
Oh no, fly. Oh no, that's why I say in Wisdom of Solomon 2, that's why you say, let's see if his words be true, because Lord ain't been saving you.
Right.
So what you think you gonna do it this time? That's what they think in their mind.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what our grace, man, the spirit, man, our grace is Yahushua, man.
That's it.
Alright? Hey, it ain't about keeping the laws of Moses no more. That don't mean you don't keep them
Rehearse.
right. Right. It just means it's about the grace of Yahushua now.
I'm
So
glad
it's
you
all
said
your
that
toes.
because somebody gonna try to soundbite it and run with it. You see?
Right.
Well, goofy, do what you gotta do.
That's
All
right.
right,
We don't
hey,
care.
but our grace is Yahweh Shai, man. So, what you say? He became a curse to deliver us from the curse. Cursed man that hangeth on the tree. He did that. So we don't have to be under the curse. Esau, you're toast. These things hast thou done. I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself. Y'all figured it out. We got the book. Oh, look what it's saying, Judah. Look what it's saying, Jeremiah. Stay sin. Let's keep them in sin. Hey, but look, but I will reprove thee. So the Lord is speaking against your ass. Set thy face against Mount Seir, and set them in order before thine eyes.
In your face.
So now we've been set in order and reproving you.
And that's what's making them nervous. All right? That it's making them nervous because, you got a lot of these people, a lot of these religious leaders that are readily admitting they know who we are. All right? And then you got just everyday citizens who the internet is like a college course. It's like education for those people, because some people just don't goof off on the internet every time they go on.
Right.
Some people actually go on there and research and look shit up. And unfortunately, Jake don't do it enough. But the heathens they look shit up, man. And Esau is starting to figure out, hey, the stuff that these Hebrew Israelites are saying is on point. And what they're saying is true. And a lot of them are being converted and believe, man.
That's right.
And I see it all the time, man. All right?
Truth shall set you free.
It's an info room, both of videos.
Con, hold it, brother, and then let's play these short videos, and then we bring out your points. They're both less than a minute long, so. This should be open. Is this as bad as that?
Yeah, I'm about to get another charge.
Okay, Mr. DJ.
Salak is.
DJ,
So,
DJ played my song.
No, that was not white. It's white. The light is white. It's yellow.
Yeah, and I'm convinced that this Jewish guy right here, I'm convinced that this dude is a whole Jake, man.
Yeah, I believe both these dudes are Jake. For sure.
What just happened? Click Explorer.
You know, Esau.
This is live or something?
Wow.
What the hell?
I might want to go back.
Yeah.
Go back one.
I didn't do that. Okay.
But there's difficulties here.
Yeah, this guy. He even look like a nigga, really. Look at his face.
Yeah.
He's,
Absolutely. I mean, look at him.
Look at that nose. That nigga nose.
Look at him. Turn the volume up.
So I want to start on the front end by acknowledging that the social construct of whiteness here in America is real and that there are inherent benefits to being born white in a country that has its origins rooted in white supremacy. That said, I've been able to disassociate myself from the identity of whiteness in that I do not derive any of my personal identity from the fact that my skin lacks melanin. I want to be explicitly clear when I state that whiteness is not real and that whiteness only exists in the presence of blackness or in the presence of other communities of color. One of the things that I observed growing up in an all-white community is that there is no meaningful solidarity around whiteness. When I look back across my childhood and I examine the times that my family was going through hardship and I identify the people who were in a position to help us but ultimately chose not to, or in some circumstances deliberately went out of their way to make our lives more difficult, what I find is that it's exclusively old white people. What I found in these instances is that even though they were white and we were white, that whiteness did not provide any sense of...
All right. He can't escape the curses, man. I am 100% sure that this dude is Jake, man. All right. He said when he was going through hardship, those same said white people were the people who went out of their way to make his life that much worse.
Wow.
He said only time whiteness is pushed within a white community is when someone of color comes around. All right. So he didn't escape the curses, man.
This Romans 8:16.
And this dude is a ish.
What?
Yeah, they look out for each other. It's funny that he was,
Ostracized.
that's the word, yep. That's how you know he's an Israelite. He was, hey, it says in Sirach, a rich man that falls is upholded by other rich motherfuckers, basically. Terrible rough paraphrasing. All right, because it don't say rich motherfuckers obviously in the scripture.
Right.
But it says that.
They hold
for
each
him-
other up.
Yeah, so for him to go through that just shows you what? That he's a nigga. That's a spirit. This Romans 8:16. The spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And what does it say in Deuteronomy 28? It's a list of curses, and it said these curses will be on you to destroy you.
And they hit his
So no
ass.
matter what you do, you're going to deal with it. That's why you got the untouchables in India. These are Israelites in India.
Yeah.
You got the untouchables in India. You got the Jake Moabites. They don't deal with them. They put them on the damn mountain. They don't even give them no airtime. All right, but that's just going into Jake.
And let me remind you too, for the people, for you TikTok people, this is a TikTok video. So this information is already on TikTok, man. So if you're offended, I don't know. I guess maybe they have agents, they come on and
agents.
watch, and they just can't, Like we said, the truth, people just can't handle the truth, and the truth is going to come out whether you like it or not. So you're trying to purposely get videos removed to get strikes on people.
Watch it under the
You
rug.
can't do anything against this. You're only going to help it.
That's right.
Every time that a so-called white person, this made-up thing, which he's talking about, tries to come against his truth, they only forward it because it is the actual truth. And if it hurts your feelings, oh well.
That's right. We
Too
don't
bad, so sad. I mean, the truth, and typically people don't like the truth because the truth makes people uncomfortable. What you should get mad at is your forefathers for lying, for saying that you were the Irish, saying that you were the Scots, saying that you were the Spartans, saying that you were the Israelites. If they just would have told the truth, hey, look, we Esau, it's our time, let's rule this bitch. But they didn't do that. They tried to cover up and hide and lie, and now it's making it that much worse.
They can't
Now
backtrack.
that it's coming out. Okay, because when you backtrack to the past and when you cross-check history, you find out that everything we're saying, this isn't hate, this is just simple truth, man. man up, a woman up, and just swallow it.
That's right.
We swallowed that pill.
That's right.
Yeah, now it's your turn. Because
Oh,
guess what?
shit.
Whether you like it or not, you're gonna eat the shit.
That's right.
There's a cup
Oh man, you tell
of
me where
shit,
I'm going
piss,
out.
and slavery
Man.
that's coming to you,
Glock
and
two
you're
today.
gonna drink it. You're gonna eat it, whether you want to or not.
And you know it's gonna be double too. It's gonna be a double
It is
portion.
what it is.
Right? And it's gonna be
Right.
a double portion because of what you've done to the people of the Lord. The Lord said, render unto them double.
Now let's let's let this guy.
Can I grab one?
Go ahead, brother.
Yep. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 22. It says, therefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more.
So right, so that beat that we took is coming to everyone else, especially the actual Edomites, 1,000 times worse, man. So if we could let him finish making his point. The brother's got scriptures to bring out.
Absolutely.
I'll pull it back just a second.
Possibly old white people. What I found in these instances is that even though they were white and we were white, that whiteness did not provide any sense of connection to the point where they felt obligated to help us. And that's what you'll find anytime that everybody in the room is white. That whiteness does not provide a strong enough connection to overrule any of their individual self-interests. Clearly, the identity of whiteness has some appeal, some allure. If you don't believe me, go ask Enrique Tarrio. In fact, the only time that you'll see the whiteness has a meaningful binding effect is when people gather together for the express purpose of celebrating said whiteness. Now, these are all observations that I've taken from my personal life experience, but we can also pull from historical evidence examples that show that whiteness is a contrivance. As Theodore Allen points out in his book, The Invention of the White Race, whenever the first Africans showed up at Jamestown.
Ooh.
I never heard anybody mention Theodore Allen until I did.
God.
No one talks about Theodore Allen.
The invention
All right,
of the white race.
the woman, the Jacqueline Battalore, which I've used a lot of her research. Everyone should know her name by now. She got her information from Theodore Allen. That's what made me look him up. So this guy knows. So for you, and more than likely, the person that's complaining and giving off the fake warnings and stuff is probably an Edomite. And so guess what? Whiteness is made up. You don't exist. It's not real.
And we don't.
You're red. You're right. He's red, even though he's not an Edomite. All right. Put it back on him, Barbecue Shot. I just wanted to say that he mentioned.
In 1619, there were no white people whenever they showed up. In fact, the word white wouldn't show up in colonial records for another 60 years. At that time in history, there were English, Irish, French, German, Austrian, Russian, Prussian. They were a nationality. They never referred to themselves as white. It wasn't until 1680 that the concept of whiteness became prevalent in the cultural lexicon, and that's a direct result of the colony of Virginia legislating whiteness into existence in response to Bacon's Rebellion, which was a labor uprising comprised of an alliance of European indentured servants and African indentured servants and slaves. The ruling class of Virginia was incredibly concerned about this alliance, and it culminated in the Slave Codes of 1705, which created a social separation between Europeans and Africans. It ensured that Europeans could never be subjected to lifetime servitude, and it ensured that African slaves could never be free.
Pause.
The social separation was...
So let me give you a little bit further breakdown for any brother who don't know, or any of you inquiring minds out there. So basically what that did was that the super elite Edomites, they gave the low-level Edomites something called whiteness, and what it gave them was front-of-the-line privileges that they never had before. That so they were able to buy property, they were able to buy, that wasn't nowhere near there yet, Pops, not yet. We're still in the 1600s. They were able to buy property, they were able to buy firearms, they were able to marry white women, because what was happening is that all these women that you refer to white, when they were coming over here in the 1600s, the main people they were marrying is the so-called Negro.
Yep.
Right? They were marrying Native Americans. They were even marrying Chinese men. The so-called white man was not getting, unless he was incredibly rich, he wasn't getting to pick up the women. So they passed that law too. And what they did, and women who chose to be with these men had to also, to men of color, had to also endure their status. So if you married a man that was low, that wasn't a white guy, and he got put into slavery, and you were a white woman, you got put into slavery with him, even though you were a so-called white woman. So there's a lot of things that they did to make whiteness special, and after getting front of the line privileges, for year after year after year after year, that shit got to their head. All right, and that's pretty much what that whole system that was set up, so that they would never have a Bacon's rebellion type thing again. Because basically what happened was We Are the World came together against the wealthy white elites, all right, who named themselves that.
You said it's called Bacon's Rebellion?
It was called
Yes,
the Bacon's
I do too.
Rebellion, and it happened in the 1600s. All right, prior to the 1681. So the 1681 was a direct the putting the coming up with these new because prior to that the Negro and the Native American were both called niggers, and they were considered the same people, the same race. All right, prior to that. So they started coming, and then you got to remember, census enumerators then began to. There's a lot of so-called Negroes who are actually Native Americans. So what they did was anyone who, and there was a lot of intermarrying going on. So anyone who had any hint of kinky hair or had a Negro feature, even though they could have been a native, they got labeled as a Negro. And then a lot of them would get snatched up and sold into slavery, getting shipped down to the South too.
Exactly.
So a lot of that was happening. All right, all behind that Bacon's rebellion. They never wanted that to happen again. So they created these false classes that are still on your applications for school, for work, to this day. All right, you know, through his policy, he shall destroy many. You know, that's Daniel's 8:25. But let it roll, and y'all brothers bring out y'all scriptures. Bible show.
Could never be free. The social separation was deliberately created by the aristocracy to ensure that they wouldn't have to contend with future labor uprisings, and it's existed in some form or fashion ever since. So once you've examined all of this, and you've identified that whiteness isn't real and that it's always existed as a barrier to class solidarity, it becomes incredibly easy to separate yourself from the identity of whiteness. I appreciate y'all taking the time. Have a good one.
All right,
No, genuinely-
and that would go with what you said, Pops. He said, and when it will continue for generations to come, that's
That
when
was-
your redlining and your Jim Crow
Yes, sir.
and all that stuff rolled out.
That was,
you know,
and
later
that was,
on.
and that was written by Willie Lynch letters. And
Con.
Willie Lynch said, if you do this and set up the wicked, this wicked regime and separating the tall versus the short, the light skin versus dark skin, the kinky versus the straight hair, and so etc. He said we can keep them in slavery, if not for 500 years, to thousands of years. And so, that's what makes these mechanisms they have. It's always pitting Jake against Jake. All right, you want me to play the other one?
Yeah, go ahead and play. No, brothers had a couple scriptures, and
I got one.
then we play the other. Let them bring them scriptures out.
Okay, I got a scripture for you. This is Revelation.
Preacher.
Because we were speaking about how they don't want to drink of the wrath that's coming to them. This is Revelation 14:10. The same shall drink of the wrath drink the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. So this is what we're looking forward to. While all this stuff is going on, and Edomite's trying to duck all this shit that he done been his MO.
Right.
Okay, this is MO. But now he wants to. Can we hug it out? Can we just let it go? I was wrong. I fucked up. But
I was drunk.
I was drunk with authority and power. Can we let it go?
Right, I got some. This Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, declare the end from the beginning, and in the ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasures, part of the Lord's pleasures, and make you pay for what you did to his people. The Lord don't give a shit what you think or what you don't want to do. You gonna drink that cup, man.
That's right.
Right.
You're
Got
gonna
one.
choke down that cup.
That's right.
I got one. It's Job 20. I'm gonna start at 4. Knoweth thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, so that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Hey, so this is something that has been known since the Lord created man and put us here, man. That wickedness, like the Elder Yak like to say, wickedness have its time, but righteousness has its eternity, man. Alright? You know, so this wickedness right here is that Yahweh Shema Shai is
For a
really
short time.
right, and it's starting to get, because righteousness
Shorter.
is being pushed in the earth right now, man. You know, It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach to the cloud, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, that they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. Alright, so hey, ain't gonna be no more Edomites after they serve they judgment. Hey, they gonna get eradicated. Hey, like the scriptures say, give her reward her double as she rewarded you, and double unto her, and the cup which she filled to her double. Hey, Esau tried to eradicate the Israelites. He tried to wipe us off the face of the planet.
He's still trying.
He's still. So what's
the
double?
16, brother?
Con. This verse 16, Job 20 and
15.
This Job 20 and 15. He has swallowed. Shit.
Slow it down, boy.
Yeah, right. It said he has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again.
That's right.
The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps. The viper tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter.
See, that's showing you the hubris of Esau. He done took all the money. He got the money.
We worked hard, you know. No, you didn't.
Exactly.
Stop with that lie.
That's right. He got the penthouses. He's jet setting. He has to, like Wisdom of Solomon, he has to develop.
He controlled the patent office. So he controlled the patent office.
Yes.
So he put his name on many inventions that he didn't invent.
That's right.
God.
Yeah, cause Jake had that in him. It's like, yo, man, hold on, just if you leave me the fuck alone and tell me to get this job done, I'm gonna come up with a way to get it done.
But Jake is creative.
The inventive of all things.
You know, so you got the Baghdad batteries and things of that nature. But Jake made it, but who capitalized off of it? Esau, right?
Like you say, go cough it up.
It's just like the broom and the mop.
God.
Jake had to do all the labor. He invented the broom and the mop.
The
The mop bucket, the ironing board, the washing machine. You know?
The motor.
That's why I said Wisdom of Solomon 5. It said he made no talents later.
This
Hit the first
Yeah,
verse on that.
yeah,
That's what I read your point.
this Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. All right, hey man, what you call it? They try to take credit for everything that Jake has done.
They culture vultures, man. They take credit for everything.
Even the music, man.
Yes,
Hey, look. Heavy metal can be traced back to Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah.
Right.
All right, and
Chuck
even
Berry.
before him, Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I got that.
Chuck Berry.
All right, so rock and roll goes back to Chuck Berry. Heavy metal goes back to Jimi Hendrix. How about that?
Yep.
All right. I mean,
Every
almost
genre.
every genre, even that bluegrass
Country,
music.
country.
That was
Yeah, that's
Jake,
big.
all that.
That's
Yeah.
part of the country.
Bluegrass
That's
is
another.
blues.
That's another way you know that it's over, man. Because they got country hip hop now. You know that it's done.
They got country with the trap beat with the trap hi-hat.
That's what I mean. It's a wrap. But let's bring out this video with the next Jewish guy, Rabbi Harry Rosenberg. All right. And I believe that this may be a YouTube short. The other one's a TikTok video originally.
Is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a Nigeria is just a name that the British threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was running late, so.
And so it's so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust theme, but these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we not starting to connect dots and being wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African American community here, which would make sense to me why they're all being we have an Israelite affinity where we're identifying this is us, we are this, and so I'm So yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people aren't, Nigeria is just a name that the British like threw onto the
Let it go again one more time.
amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was like running late, so.
And so it's like, so this is so relevant because we have such a never again Holocaust theme, but like these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that like a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe. So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute, so the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity, we're identifying, this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people aren't, Nigeria is just
Okay, you can stop it there. So as you can see, man, the truth is it literally is coming out like a flood, and it's not Nigeria. That whole area that's on that map that's on the screen right now, that whole area was called Negro Land.
That's right.
All right, and they're maps from the 1700s, from 1783. Well, that area was referred to as Negro Land, and Africans were never referred to as Negroes.
That's right.
All right, they don't call Africans Negroes to this day. There's a difference between an African and a Negro. The Negroes were the Israelites that came from Jerusalem during the Roman persecution, and they came down into Africa and ended up building up the entire west coast of Africa. You had castles like you have in Europe all throughout West Africa. All right, and they never show them. And they were over there trying to destroy them in all these wars, and these recent wars that just happened not too long ago. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's another map I seen like a couple of days ago. It says Negro, then it says it said True Negro on West Africa. Then the rest of Africa it says Tyson Negro, showing they know that the Israelite is different between the true Negroes and the other Negroes. The true Negroes are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of.
Like real quick, now that we mentioned it, to give the source, let's give the definition of Ham. As you can see right there on the corner of the screen, it's got the four sons of Ham: Mizraim, Cush, Put, and Canaan. Canaan is the area in the world where the land of Israel and the surrounding and the Palestinians sits today. All right, that was Canaan. Africans, dark-fleshed Africans, sat in that land. That was their land. The sons of Ham. The same one that you say was a curse, that the curse of Ham came, and then you say Canaan went into slavery. Canaan was living in Palestine. Canaan lost his land first to the Israelites, and then he lost it to the Edomites and the Palestinians nowadays. All right, that whole area of Canaan and Mizraim, where Egypt was, the Hamites haven't ruled and controlled their own land for thousands of years at this point. All right, Ishmael and Esau is all up in there, right at this point. All right, so the curse of Ham had nothing to do with the slave trade. That was a complete different bloodline and a complete different curse of people. Somebody got you got it. Bring it out, brother.
Yeah, this Ham.
Give the source, brother.
Ham.
Give the source, brother.
Zondervan's Bible Victorial Dictionary. Salaki.
The Zondervan's Bible Pictorial Dictionary.
Salaki. But Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
All right? It had nothing to do with it said not the Negroes. Negroes are not Hamites. All right?
Matter of fact, they don't like us. They tell you that off top.
Yeah, they
will. They don't want to move in with. They don't want to move in our neighborhoods.
That was the whole thing with the beginning of that video. He was talking about the other Hamites around the Igbo that committed that genocide. It happened more than once. 66. Yeah.
Exactly. So why were these people? Why? Because they're two different races.
That's
The
right.
people in West Africa were different from those Hamitic dark people that lived around them. They were at war ever since. What do you think the whole Palestine is the new way of saying Philistines?
Yeah.
The Israelites have always been enemies of the Philistines.
That's right, brother.
Always.
All right.
The book of Joshua goes into that. You get to the 12th chapter, it tells you 31 African kings was put down based off of that. They had no problem pointing us out when it was time.
In Genesis, what does it say? It's an abomination for the Israelites to
Yep.
be with the Egyptians, Egyptians with the Israelites.
That's right.
All right, it's always been that separation. All right, I got a precept for you real quick. This is Exodus 11 and 7. You said you had that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, read it, bro. You got it? I'll
This,
break it down for you.
This Exodus 11 and 7. But against any of the children of Israel should not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord Yahweh doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
And there's a difference, and it starts in the spirit, but also we don't look the same. All right, it is a fucking difference. But our spirit is different. Either way, it's this Hamite. Well, he's not really Hamite. This Nigerian to talk to. I spoke to him about the Israelite thing. He told me how it's different over there. Like it's something like them Hamites, even in Nigeria. The Hamites over there do not fuck with them. It's a whole thing. Like it's just bugged out.
That's how it's spiritual. Because the oil and water don't mix. The scripture says every bird resort to its kind.
Yeah, they still hate him to this day.
That's right. So that's why Jake is going to amalgamize with Jake collectively. You're going to get
like the Ghanaians and Nigerians are cool. Like the Israelites of them.
Right.
Then you got these Hamites that's still in these lands because it's they shit. You know, niggas just take over wherever they at.
Of course.
And they really be on. They really pissed off. They really tried to get. I was researching that 66 shit, and it happened 3 times. They happened 2 times before that. They've been fucking with the Igbo for a long time. The Hamites.
That's right.
No,
Because they know. All right. The elites know over there. And they sent and those colonizers went over there. Ham know. It's like we're when we left, they came and flooded into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution in 70 A.D. The nations around, they knew.
Oh yeah, they knew.
All right, and so things get passed on to generations. People knew. Those old.
To this day. The Kata, how Africans call niggas and Kata.
Yes.
Now some West Africans, the actual Israelites, took hold of the damn Hamite customs, and now think it's a difference. No, that's why the Africans don't like your ass.
That's right.
All right, because you ain't an African either. You're not a Hamite. You a nigga just like us, man.
Your style,
right, which means just black.
And since we cussing out these Hamites, Joel 3 and 4, yea. And what have we to do? What have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? And like the elder said earlier, that Palestine is really referring to the ancient Philistines at first, because that word is going to break down to Philistine. Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Right, the Hamites, they know, and they've been oppressing Jake for centuries over there in Ham, the land of Ham, so-called Africa.
I got the precept. This Acts 21, and I'm gonna start at 37. And as Paul was to be led into the council, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made us an uproar?
Exactly.
And led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. And man, he got mistaken as Egyptian, man. But he was
That's why Yahweh Shai, as a baby, went to do what? They went to Egypt to go hide from Herod.
That's right. That's why the angel told them to go down there.
That's right. So they would not be easily spotted.
To blend in.
To blend
Right,
in.
that's it.
And because Moses also got mistaken for an Egyptian.
That's right.
Matter of fact, the Israelites got mistaken for Egyptians by other Hamites.
That's right.
When Jacob died.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a quick precept because now that y'all saying that, even when Pharaoh, what children he was trying to kill. This is Exodus 1:16, and he said, when ye do offer office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them about the stool, if it be a son, then ye should kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. And they was trying to kill off the men. Why? Because we are the seed of Israel through the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This Exodus 1. So this prove right here that they wanted to knock our race off. They wanted to eradicate us.
Pharaoh even knew.
Yeah, because he wanted to get rid of the sperm line.
Exactly.
And all the girls that we born, with, the Hamites, would be able to impregnate them and just bring forward Hamites. Right? So they knew that. They understood that. Matter of fact, that was common knowledge in the world until Esau Edom came into power.
Well, that's why they call your boss the family jewels.
Yeah, exactly. And that was common knowledge in the throughout the whole world until Esau Edom came into power and started changing shit. What did he start removing landmarks, changing? He just told you Nigeria was what the white people called it.
Is it?
Africa is named after so-called white man, Scipio Africanus. It was called the land of Ham. You know. That's what it was. That's right. That's where you get the word chemical from. Or chemistry, right? Okay. So it wasn't even called Africa.
I'm gonna finish this out. Read it to verse.
Right, where you get the word Kemet from. All you Kemet niggas. When you call yourself Kemet, you agree that the Bible is real.
Exactly.
You calling yourself a goddamn Hamite, you black bastard. Because the father of Egyptology was a so-called white man. So
Exactly.
You just follow another trap laid by Esau.
El Stupido.
Verse 17. But the midwife feared the Most High Power God and did as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt, called for the midwife and said unto them, why have ye done this thing? And have saved the men children alive. Because they was afraid of the Lord. So this proved that, hey, even our people follow the Lord. They don't follow the Most High. They don't follow Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So this
you got these 2/3 is following the hood land.
Verse 19, and the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and deliver ear the midchild midwives come in unto them.
So basically they birth these kids and they up and moving around before we even get there.
Yeah, which they was sending them off, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
As they should have.
Like they was supposed
Yeah, because the women feared. It was like, man, we not gonna kill the princes of Israel.
Kill our own?
Right, you crazy?
And that was when our women were more.
That's when our women hadn't gone completely off yet.
That's the number one murderer of
yeah, because now, the most dangerous place for an Israelite child is in of the southern kingdom tribe anyway of Judah. Is inside their mother's womb.
They have abort parties.
Because she a straight hitman your ass.
They doing cakes, man. They had a abort party with a cake where they basically throwing the baby away.
Shooting the baby
away in the basket. That's a cake.
Are you serious?
Bro, that shit pissed me off so bad. That pissed me off. They had an abort party with the cake with the baby being shot like a freak.
Man, everybody that attended it,
Yes.
Really cold.
To her we all die.
Yes, absolutely.
Verse 20. Therefore the Most High Power God dwelleth well with the midwives, and the people multiply and wax very mighty. Hey, could the Lord, first of all, this is the Lord's show, so you can't get rid of us even if you want to. All your lies and you trying to cover up things, man, the Lord is on your ass, man. Plain and simple. You devils gotta die, man, for what the hell y'all did.
Wait, it's gonna return on head, man. The Lord gonna get rid of their ass.
Hey, they put the Planned Parenthoods up. Now you got a damn birth problem, man.
Yep, exactly.
I know kids.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they passing laws to make all these Edomite, well, you know, slant words. You know what I'm saying? Jump. Oh my God.
Fuck
Jump. You know, these women that don't want to have their babies. These Edomite women are celebrating. Speaking of, there was a double rally downtown where you had the opposers for abortion and the people who were for abortion. And I thought to myself, this is on TV, but I think was it last week or the week before, they had a whole bunch of Ukrainians out there with their flags that were protesting against the war. There wasn't one TV, there wasn't no TV, not a camera. And they sitting in the Daily Plaza right across from ABC. Like I said, all ABC had to do was turn their cameras outside through their windows. They didn't have to go out there. They did not cover that. No vans pulled up, nothing. All right? The only people with their phones that was uploading it to social media is how it went up. All right? But as soon as you got some controversy with the hoes that want to be able to go out, kill their babies and still get the morning after pill or whatever, all right? And then you had all the fake Jesus lovers that were against it, and the people who are against it only because they're trying to preserve so-called made-up whiteness, because so-called white people are not having children. They're the minority now. They lost, 40 plus million over the last 22 years to opioids.
They men ain't living with them no more.
40 plus million, all right? 40 plus million lost to opioids alone, all right? And then all these, now you're the one that conditioned these women to be independent and not want a man, and to like other women and not men, and all this other bullshit. That's all your own policy coming back on you. And now you want to try to reverse it and force women to have babies, all right? And not chase their careers and their dreams to be a boss bitch.
That white bitch said it. She got the politician. She got on stage before the world and said, "This is a victory for white people."
Yes. And she won, and and it's quietly she tried to say she tried to clean up, said right, but it had been said already. Someone else had already said it, and I called it right out the gate.
Yeah, that's what it was for. You got these Edomite bitches going to the Planned Parenthood now. That's what I mentioned, because the way the Quran said, this shit falling in your head.
And the people complaining about it, the women who wanted to have the baby, they didn't want to have the babies, wanted to kill the babies, were saying it too. This is just for the white patriotic thing, because they just want they want a victory because they just want more children. They want babies.
Yep.
And so their tongues were falling upon themselves, man.
I got scripture for you.
Oh, and also the prophecy of the Lord is coming to pass, like your pops. It says you are small amongst the nations. That's part among the heathen, Obadiah. All right, and that's why they got what's that shit? It's called intravenous and all this.
Yeah, I had a couple clients that have children that way.
That's because
they couldn't right.
They gotta fertilize the pussy.
Yeah,
You use the fertilizer on your eggs.
That's not a high percentage.
And they both was JOOs. Matter of fact, all three of them. It's three of them. Because Big Red, she was too. Yeah, all three of them was did that in vitro stuff. Because why? Because Red's man couldn't get up pregnant. The other one didn't have no man, and the other one didn't want no man.
That's right.
Esau.
And then these women are freezing their eggs.
That's what they did.
That they get them later, and then now the eggs going bad.
And all of them was having problems because they all was in their late 30s, pushing 40s. Pushing their 40s, man. They were having a hard time getting pregnant. Why? And then I even remember Red telling me, just in conversation, when she was trying to get pregnant, just in conversation, and then she just let me know she had been on birth control for 20-something years since her sophomore or freshman year of high school or some shit. And it said the doctor said, well, it takes you what did he say? 6 months of trying, so many times of trying per years that you were on it. Right. So
she
that's what
it's
so it's
it might take a year.
Yeah, so you gotta try, and that little whip she made, he couldn't keep up. He couldn't skid enough. Right? Cause he like, damn. That's why she had to. That's what it is. That's why she had to go get in vitro. That's right. Because he couldn't. It's like, damn.
Hey,
You know,
Everything that
I gotta do what? You mean I gotta do it this many times per year?
Hey,
You know?
you put that heat on the
But
Israelites.
she did that on herself though.
Exactly, but you put that kind of heat on the Israelites. What it said, the more they got at them,
My unlucky ass, man, I look at pussy
the
and
more
get
they made babies. The more tribulation you put on the Israelites when they was in Egypt and slavery, the more babies they made. That's it.
And another thing, a lot of the men, a lot of these Edomite men are they chasing the bag right now. They don't want kids.
Well, because they passport bros too.
Yeah, they not dealing with the Edomite.
Yeah, because that Me Too, the Edomite women were the main ones pushing that Me Too, and it all backfired on her. All right, it backfired on because even so-called white men had already been going to Asia to get wives and stuff like that. They have been doing that for a while, but they're doing it even more so now. Because they'll deal with women from other countries. They just don't want to deal with Western women, so they're not really going to Europe to get them either. Because them NATO countries, I mean, you might as well be in America. It's the same mindset.
But that's
right?
the curses. The way our women was going to be evil towards us is the evil that they women going to have towards them, which goes back to this
Job 27:15.
30 and 7. And Yahweh thy power put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So all these curses that was on us has got to pass to all these different nations of people now, and their women, and the whole deal. Our women hated us, so now, since women are drawing the power, as our power come up, they go start hating their men more and more.
Yes. And it's already happened. Right now we're in the process that we're in the prophecies of one kingdom being translated over to another.
Yes.
It's like a seesaw. It's not one quick thing. It's a gradualism as well. And the Lord is building up the men of the Lord, and He's taking down Esau Edom. Babylon is fallen, and Israel is rising.
I think I was with Benji. We was downtown, and I was we went to we was walking behind some Edomites, and I said, man, I don't know what these Edomite women see in the Edomite men. She started laughing like, I plead the fifth. But she low key was putting her beard in, So she was like, I plead the fifth, The Esau women, they not dealing with them, they dealing with everybody else.
Job 20 and
money,
15.
Right.
I mean 17. No. Where I'm at? Go ahead, brother.
Edomite women out there even dealing with Arabs.
Yeah. 27, 15.
They dealing with Moab.
Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. I had two actresses that I've been training for years, and they both were complaining about the patriarchy in their theater company, and the theater because one of them does stage combat, and she does the stunts, the damn stunt woman and shit.
Okay.
But she both of them were complaining about the white male patriarchy, and that they're tired of white men, and they're tired of doing these historical things that are inaccurate, because they know that a lot of these characters that they're playing were not white people. All right, and then how they always want a white lead. But you know what? They're the ones that gave the women all these power and all these voices. Now they're coming against them. Yeah, it's all backfiring on them. So they're very well aware that all these period pieces with Henry V and Amadeus and all, they know that these weren't white people. They're aware of that. The ones who've actually studied and learned. Yeah. All right, they know. All right. Shakespeare was Othello, the Moor of Venice. Yes. And think about it, man. If white people were ruling in Venice in the 1400s, all right, the 1300s, the 1400s, the 1500s, what makes you think that a white man would write a play about a white woman getting stressed out by a blackamoor? All right.
Now the funny thing,
you really think that a white male would have done that in the 1500s?
Now the funny thing is, before you said Shakespeare, my mind went there, and I just was holding my peace. But now you said it, I must speak on it. If you read the works of Shakespeare and you go into Old English, blackamoor, that's like over the top. That's on the nose. Do you know how many in his plays Shakespeare wrote? Over a dozen plays. how many references he has in his plays. If you know Old English and you read it, that is, you know that the majority of all these characters were so-called black in the first place.
And they tell you that.
Hey, well, look, I have
Django.
a complete works of Shakespeare at home, and a really old one. All right, actually, I have two. One I've had damn near since I came into this truth, because I bought it probably a couple months after being in. But I bought that book, and when you turn to the glossary of that book, and when it gets to the point where it says colored red, it tells you Cain and Esau. So you can't tell. So you know it ain't say ruddy. It said red. It tells you in the glossary of this book, and I haven't done it in a long time, but I'll show the video and show the receipts, right, and show the glossary. It tells you in the glossary. I don't even know what made me turn to the glossary and start looking up words. And it said, yeah, and then I turned to it, and guess what? I highlighted that shit, and I still have that book.
Beethoven was black too.
Yeah, well, like you said, they showed you that in Django when he said you killed D'Artagnan, but you know the guy that wrote that.
He was a black man.
Dumas.
He said, oh, soft-hearted Frenchie. And he was like, dumbass, Alexander Dumas was black, dummy. All right, so yes, and that's the writer of the Three Musketeers. All right, and so the Musketeers, at the time that the Musketeers was a fictional group, but they might have been based on reality. All right, as cold as they were, the soldiers, but at that time, so-called black people were the rulers in Europe, and that letter. That, as a matter of fact, Benji, if you want to pull that letter up, as a matter of fact, we'll get ready to close with that. You already know what I'm talking about. Go right to the point.
I remember that Drew Hillville, they showed the Musketeers, all them black people, they showed the real history.
All right. There's a letter that Ben Franklin wrote in 1751, and in that letter, he pretty much lets you know that all of Europe was so-called black, except the English, which that was a lie. The English were so-called swarthy as well. He said that all of Europe. And he talked about the Swedes, the Romanians, and the Germans, and all right, because I was watching a German movie before I came here. I clicked it on at Blood and Gold. It's on Netflix. All right, and I was watching a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I have to watch the first 5 or 6 minutes to see if it catches my attention. And they kept talking about the fatherland and Aryan, and I'm like, you're not even the real Germans, dummy. You're not even the real Germans, and secondly, you're not even the real Aryans. The Aryans goes back to the Elam, to the so-called Indian people, East Indians. They're the original. So the Esau Edom is just a liar and a thief. About you created this whole false whiteness, which is made up, and then you claim it to be the Germany as a fatherland, which was the Picts that lived there, and the Picts were a dark complexion of people. All right. And then you claim to be Aryans, and the Aryans was Elamites.
Everybody but Esau.
Culture vultures. Look at his change.
So Esau is just pathetic, man. And he can't hide himself. Like the scripture says, it's out.
Well, he slipped up in the 10 Commandments, the Amalekites.
Well,
You talking about when he put his hand out?
yeah, absolutely. They never showed that in the Ten Commandments.
They avoided that part.
They avoided that conveniently.
Bring it out, brother.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 18. It says, but the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. So ultimately, this truth is gonna come out, man.
That's right.
And with it, the exposition of Esau Edom, man. All the wickedness that he's done, and the Lord's gonna make that difference. Now, who are the righteous, his people, and who are the wicked, man?
That's right.
There it is, man. But you want to go ahead and read that, Brother Bobby?
I got some scroll back down to it. The source of this is from his letter, Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind.
Which means he wasn't even counting the other nations as an increase in mankind. He was only counting the newly found. Because remember, when he wrote this letter, whiteness was less than 100 years old. All right? Just take that into mind. When he wrote this letter, whiteness was less than 100 years old.
Yep.
All right.
It says it was cited up top. It says 1751.
There you go.
So this
So about 60 something years old. All right. About about 70, 65, 70 years old was whiteness, the made up whiteness when he wrote this letter. Go ahead, brother.
Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion?
Now, can I interject this one thing? He's not. They're not the angelic sons of Isaac.
Perfect.
So he's lying about that part. They're not the Saxons. They're Edomites. All right. There's more than enough evidence to prove that the Brits were also so-called black men of color.
Which leads me to add one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. All Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so the natives are not red as they try to tell you.
Yep, he just told you that the natives were tawny, all right, swarthy, and just so you know, I looked up that word swarthy in the in that dictionary, that banger that I have, the Winston Simplified Dictionary, 1925. All right, I got a 1925 one now, and it takes swarthy. One of the words for swarthy is dusky, and I've read descriptions of King James and the Scots being referred to as the dusky hordes or the dusky or the swarthy hordes of Scotland, and that word dusky among Negroes got interchanged with dusty. So they say your dusty ass. What they're really saying is your dusky ass, your brown ass, or your dark ass. So that's what they're saying, just so you brothers know. So, well, you're right, that dusty ass nigga, they're saying dusky. And so the word swarthy is interchangeable with dusky, Moor, Moreno, and black, and Jew.
That's right.
All right?
And
so all those words are interchangeable.
That's right.
All right?
In the Hebrew, the word shachar, which is black, in Job 30:30, means to be dim or dark in color. And then when it breaks it down, it says as if dusk, when the sun is setting,
dusky,
as if it's dusk.
Right.
You know, showing you that so-called black in the scriptures is really saying dusky.
Right, and with Negroes coming from the west coast of Africa, dusky became dusty, and women still say that as an insult to Jake to this day.
Yes.
Your dusty ass.
Your dusty ass.
Right, they're really saying dusky. Well, go ahead, Saint Benjamin.
Wholly so, and in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion.
Read it again.
And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also.
Oh, so I guess there wasn't a fatherland for you sons of Dedan. Go ahead.
The Saxons only accepted, who with the English make up the principal body of white people,
Which was a lie.
on the face of the earth.
You got to learn about Oliver Cromwell. He removed all the Negroes from Ireland, Scotland, and Britain, all right, in the 1600s, all right, and to ensure that basically the Renaissance has started, all right. So that was the work of Oliver Cromwell. As a matter of fact, Oliver Cromwell is the one who put King James' grandson, King Charles II, to death, Black Boy, all right. That was his nickname, all right. His name, and he got beheaded by Oliver Cromwell, all right. And that was King James' grandson, and I have yet to come across a white guy that calls himself Black Boy. I haven't met one yet.
That's right.
All right.
That's right. Yeah.
Go ahead, St. Benjamin.
I could wish their numbers were increased. And while we are, as I may call it, scoring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants in Mars or Venus, why should we, in sight of superior beings, darken his people? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America?
So he was purposely pushing that lie already. All right, that the Negro was African. All right, and that's a lie. The Negro didn't come. The Negro came from Jerusalem.
That's right.
He was a refugee in Africa. That's why there was genocide being committed on him by the black Africans, by the dark Africans.
That's right.
A different dark race.
And he was also in Europe, and he's also in Asia. We were spread out, and not just only Africa. That's why they try to singleize so-called the African, so-called black trade from Africa. Just all y'all from Africa. No, there was a whole, that was not a triangular trade. It was more like a rectangular trade.
Right.
It
He
was,
just said in the letter, the Swedes, the Germans, they were all tawny.
That's
They
right.
were all swarthy.
So you have to go to what? You have to go to Europe, to the west coast of Africa, over to South America, to back up to America. That's more rectangular than triangular.
Then you got to think about when
Four corners.
when the Judite slaves ran away among the tribe of Gad, how the tribe of Gad hid them because he all was dark skinned.
They was all dark skinned, exactly.
Right.
That's right.
But go ahead, Saint Benji, finish it.
Come. While increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, and we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies of increasing the lovely white and red.
So he just let you know, right, that these red people,
lovely white,
these red Edomites, they're falsely referred to themselves as white. All right. Okay, he let you know, and he also let you know that Native Americans were not red at all. That was a lie that they came up later to try to control the narrative of color. All right. So we can stop it right there. So the point has been made, man. The evidence is out there, and I'm waiting for that to be pulled off the internet. That's very condemning, especially you got white women reading it, saying that there's no such thing as whiteness to other white people. You got this Jewish guy who's really not, an Edomite, saying the same thing. Whiteness is made up. So the truth is out there, man.
Okay.
All right, and all I can say to you Edomites is that you had a good run. It's still your time. Enjoy the little bit of time you got, but it sucks to be you.
Turn up.
All right.
That's
Sucks
what
to be you.
The white comedian said. Wait till our stuff catch up to us.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Louis. Yeah, he said. Yeah,
they all know.
Yeah, he said. But in the future, we're gonna pay for this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and they are. And so with that, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Wa Abba Ball.
Abba Ball.
Turn those machines back on.